So to everyone's surprise, the LA Clippers have fallen down 2-0 versus the Dallas Mavericks. Absolutely no one could have expected this. Most people had the series going 5 or 6 games in the Clippers' favor, but it's looking like Dallas could be the one that wins it in 4 or even 5 games. And to be honest, I'm absolutely loving to see the Clippers in shambles. But if we're being honest, this Clippers team is way too talented to just get swept like that, in my opinion. And I think there's at least a chance that the Clippers could at least get back in the series and make it competitive or actually come back to win it. So in today's video, I'll be giving some reasons on why I believe the LA Clippers can come back in the series versus the Dallas Mavericks. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give my prediction on who I think will win it and in how much games. But before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content, and to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I'm really close. And comment on this video, start a conversation with me as I do respond to all of my comments, and play that intro. The first reason I believe the LA Clippers can come back in this series is the fact that throughout the first 2 games of the series, the Dallas Mavericks have been shooting historically great from the 3-point line. And if Dallas was a team like the 2017 Golden State Warriors or a team like the current day Utah Jazz, I wouldn't even have this as a reason, because those are some of the greatest offensive 3-point shooting teams in the league's history. But Dallas, despite them being a pretty good offense with capable shooters, is definitely far from one of the best 3-point shooting teams in NBA history, as during the regular season they only ranked 18th in the league in 3-point percentage, yet in the first 2 games of this series they shot 47% from 3 in game 1 and 53% from 3 in game 2, and taking that they made 17 threes in game 1 and 18 in game 2, so they were hitting a lot of them. And the thing is that Dallas is a good 3-point shooting team, but I don't even think they are good enough to sustain this amount of great shooting throughout the whole series. And that has been the main reason the Clippers have been losing, because they've been double teaming Luka Doncic. Then he's such an amazing passer that he always finds the open guy, or passes it to the guy who will always look for the other open guy. And they're making a lot of their wide open 3-pointers. And if I'm being honest, I think there will be at least 1 or 2 games where those shots simply don't go in as much. And they have been going in this whole series. But there is also a chance that since Dallas is shooting a lot of wide open 3-pointers, that they can sustain the shooting. And if they can sustain the shooting, I believe they will clearly sweep the Clippers, because if a team is making 70 to 18 threes while shooting that fantastic of a percentage, it's nearly impossible to beat them unless you're on fire yourself. And throughout these 2 games, the Clippers have been very cold shooting the 3, as in game 1 they shot a terrible 27% from 3, but in game 2 they were way better as they shot 39. But if you didn't know, the Clippers were the best 3-point shooting team in the association percentage-wise, and they have been way worse in the postseason so far. And if I'm being honest, I don't expect that to keep happening. So I think the Clippers shooting well will improve. But if Dallas's hot shooting keeps up and the Clippers shooting is below average, mark my words, the Dallas Mavericks will win this series. But I do think they will have an off night shooting the ball. The second reason I believe the LA Clippers might be able to come back in the series is the fact that in the first 2 games of the series, their 2 stars in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have actually been playing great to start the playoffs, as Kawhi's been averaging 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists, along with 3 steals, shooting 53% from the field and 38% from 3, and Paul George has been averaging 25 points and 9 rebounds, shooting over 50% from the field. And I honestly think this is a good and bad look for the Clippers, because the bad side is that they are both playing so amazing, yet they still lost to the Dallas Mavericks 2 times, which is pretty embarrassing. But the good side is that it kind of guarantees that Kawhi and Paul George will step up in their next games, which obviously if they want to make a comeback in the series, they're going to need it, because if Kawhi or Paul George was just absolutely wet in the bed, they would have a 0% chance of winning. And although Paul George has been pretty solid to start the playoffs, he definitely deserves credit. It's only been 2 games games, and he's due to have a game where he's horrendous, but nonetheless, I think it's more of a positive that these two are stepping up in the postseason. And I think it's more likely that the Clippers role players step up and produce and win them a game rather than Kawhi or Paul George having a bad game and causing them to lose the series. The third reason the LA Clippers could potentially get back in the series versus the Dallas Mavericks is the fact that through 2 games in the series, the Dallas Mavericks literally don't have a single player who's playing bad. I'm not even joking. When you look at their roster and their stats right now, no one is legitimately playing bad. All of the main players in this series are all shooting over 50% from the field, except Kristaps Porzingis, but he's shooting 48% from the field along with shooting 44% from 3. And guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. is averaging 24 points while shooting 64% from 3, and they have many guys who are shooting like 50, 60, or even 70% from 3. So they're playing as well as they possibly can right now. And you might be wondering, how is this possibly a good thing for the Clippers? But the reason it's a good thing is because I don't think Dallas's supporting cast can sustain a play this fantastic. And I think they're due to have a bad game. Because if Dallas's supporting cast plays like this, they could legitimately make it all the way to the NBA Finals and beat the Brooklyn Nets if they play this amazing, which I don't think they will do. And also, so far in the series, Luka Doncic has been playing like a top 3 player in the NBA, as he's been averaging 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, shooting 50% from the field and 41% from 3, which is absolutely fantastic. And although I wouldn't bet on it, I do think Luka Doncic is due for at least an off game. I don't think he's going to choke or anything like that, but I think he'll just have a game where he's not hitting his shots and he scores like 22 to 25 points on not the greatest efficiency. But if he keeps playing like this with the supporting cast playing like this, the Clippers will get swept and possibly the team that they face in the next round as well. But to conclude the video, I still think the Dallas Mavericks will push through and win this series in 6 games. Because of the way they're shooting, it shows me that they are much more mentally tough than the Clippers. The Clippers are filled with a bunch of players who are scared of the spotlight, except for Kawhi. He's fantastic. But coming into the series, I thought the Clippers would win in 6 games, but now my prediction has turned completely around. I think the Clippers will win Game 3, then I think they will lose Game 4, then I think they'll win Game 5, but then I think Dallas will close it out in Game 6. Let's see if I'm correct, but yeah, I think the Clippers will somewhat come back, but I do think they will fall short. But if the game goes into a Game 7, I think I would bet on the Clippers just because I believe Kawhi will have a Game 7 performance similar to his one on the Raptors in 2019 versus the Philadelphia 76ers. But unless that happens, I think Dallas will push through, and I actually hope that they push through. I'm a mini Dallas Mavericks fan at the current moment. But anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know, do you think the Clippers are getting back in the series? Drop a like on this video as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content and to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I'm really close. And comment on this video, start a conversation as I do respond to all of my comments. And I'm out.